This channel's mission is to inform athletes, parents, and fans about the world of NIL deals in sports. This channel is not meant to investigate players' exact compensations. Positive vibes only. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome to NIL University. I'm the law dog, Larry Gibson, your favorite Q in law school. Today we're going to discuss everything name, image, and likeness for another one of the nation's favorite quarterbacks. Actually, he was once the nation's favorite quarterback. Yeah, I'm talking about Saban's guy, the former Heisman Trophy winner. If you're catching my drift, I'm talking about none other than Bryce Young. If y'all don't remember this, Bryce Young is the all-time leading touchdown passer for a season in Alabama's history. He threw 47 touchdowns. He also threw for almost 5,000 yards in the season, which is another Alabama record. Yeah, he has the record. Not Mac Jones, not Tua Tagovailoa, not even Jalen Hurts, who's about to play in the Super Bowl. Bryce Young has those records. And to go along with those records, he also, by default, has the most NIL money out of all of them. Now, I'll be honest with you. Bryce Young has the most NIL deals that I've seen for one athlete so far. He actually started signing them before he ever started a game for Alabama. Right after being Mac Jones' backup and being named a starter, companies started flocking. Now, these companies, obviously, they were taking a risk because if he didn't pan out, they couldn't just take the money back, right? But you know what? This guy went on to win the Heisman, so I think they hedged their bets properly. Now, for him making so much money through NIL, it's only right that his very first deal was signed with Cash App. Yeah, he signed this one in July of 2021, before he ever started a game. In fact, he signed one deal at this time that was rumored to be upwards of $800,000 before he ever started a game. So to me, that's very impressive. After Cash App, he signed with Be Unlimited. Be Unlimited is like a clothing and apparel brand for SEC schools. The CEO of this company is actually a University of Arkansas alum, so maybe that's why it's SEC only, but this brand right here is pretty clean, although obviously Bryce Young's gear has sold out, so maybe it was good for Be Unlimited to sign that deal. Now, these are all pre-Heisman deals. Let's see what Bryce Young is worth after 2 stellar seasons at Alabama and the Heisman Trophy. Sheesh, Bryce Young has a valuation of $3.5 million in NIL money. It's probably because he's number 2 in college football rankings in NILs, and also because he plays for Alabama. Aside from playing for Alabama, he also has his own nice size following of 276,000 on Instagram and 71,000 on Twitter. So any company that's going to sign this man is going to be in front of a lot of eyes as soon as they do it. Not to mention, Alabama, all of their games are played on national television. So you're going to see Bryce Young every single week. Now let's see what else Bryce has been up to. Bryce is signed with BMW of Tuscaloosa. Now this deal right here makes me smile because if you know anything about Nick Saban, he is a Mercedes guy. In fact, he owns multiple Mercedes-Benz dealerships in the state of Alabama. So whoever owns this BMW car lot right here, this is a pretty cheeky move right here. I respect it. But shout out to Bryce Young. I'm sure he got the car for free. So here we go. There's one down for Bryce Young. Now, if you're wondering who's helping Bryce Young sign all of these deals, well, he's been represented by CAA, one of the world's best agencies. CAA has not only pro football players, pro basketball players, Premier League soccer players, but they also have some of the realest actors in the game, like Tom Hanks and stuff like that. In fact, here's their roster. Let's look at who they got. They got Josh Allen here. They got Robbie Anderson. They got Nick and Joey Bosa. They got Marquise Brown, which is Hollywood Brown, and I think that's AJ Brown down there. Also, my main man De'Ami Brown right here. That's like a little brother to me, so shout out to him for being represented by CAA too, one of the top brands in the game. So obviously, he's not going to get hit by anything buried in those contracts. He's probably not signing any BS deals that are going to leave him in harm's way because CAA is not a rookie in this game. They're pros. I got a question for y'all, man. When's the last time you feel like Bryce Young went hungry? Not only is he a scholarship athlete at Alabama where he's got an unlimited meal plan and unlimited snacks, this man also is signed to Subway and Logan's Roadhouse. He's been signed to both of these brands since late 2021. I want to say October and November, respectfully. So at the end of the day, this man has a sandwich named after him at Subway, the Tuscaloosa, and he's getting free Logan's Roadhouse. Now I'm a Texas Roadhouse guy myself because that prime rib goes crazy, but I'm sure it's not bad at Logan's Roadhouse either. So shout out to him for never having a hungry day. Like, shout out to that, because I'm sure his offensive linemen, they really appreciate it. They probably have big round table dinners at Logan's Roadhouse all the time. In August of 2022, Bryce Young signed a deal with Dr. Pepper. Now, this personally is one of my favorite because he got to be in one of those Fansville commercials. I don't know about y'all, but my favorite Fansville commercial is the one with the wave. That joint is hilarious. Now, this picture right here is pretty dope for more than one reason. Not only is he just accepting his Heisman Trophy, but he's also, I give him probably about a 9 out of 10 for this black on black, but he's also standing in front of this Nissan poster. And you guessed it, he signed with Nissan in September 2022. Now, obviously you see him in those Heisman commercials with Tim Tebow and all those other guys. I'm not sure if Nissan signs all the Heisman Trophy winners, but if they do, that's a great brand model. I like that a lot. So, which one of y'all think he drives? The BMW or the Nissan as his everyday car? Now, keep in mind, I think the Nissan is like a EV SUV. So, if he's driving that, that's probably not an everyday car. But, who knows? On September 15th, Bryce Young also partnered with Beats. We talked about in the Shador's video how great of a brand Beats is and who are some other notable names that are signed to this brand. So shout out to him. These headphones right here in particular are like an Alabama custom pair. So I'm pretty sure he probably gave all of his teammates a pair of those. It's pretty awesome. Shout out to him for being able to do that. Sure, it was a blessing. After that, in December of 2022, he signed a deal with Celsius. So not only is his food taken care of, but his hydration is too. And I would probably guess that he has like 5 cases of Celsius in his room right now, just sitting there. So shout out to him for being able to ink that deal. Now, if you notice, Bryce Young signed quite a bit of deals over the past season, yet he still played very well. And it's because he says he knows how to prioritize. And he was interviewed before the Sugar Bowl, and he said that priorities was his main thing with keeping track of NILs and performance. Because at the end of the day, if Alabama loses, it's on him and it's on Nick Saban. Nobody's looking anywhere else. So with all that pressure down there in the state of Alabama, without them having a professional sports team, that's a big burden to carry. And I feel like he carried it very well. And so what Bryce Young actually says he does is he'll sign the deals, but he won't do any commercials. Tries to get all of his commercials in a 1-month period over the summer. And so he has a pretty hectic month, I'm sure, where he's just shooting commercial after commercial. I think the most interesting part about that is that we think about, like, dang, this man has all of these NIL deals and he's playing quarterback for Alabama. How does he keep that balance? He's also a student. Next, Bryce Young signed a deal with the Athletic Collection on January 2nd of this year right here. This is like a poster type of company right here. I'm not sure if it's just specific to Alabama or not, but if it is, then that's probably a good way for Alabama to, get their athletes paid in some type of way, shape, or form, especially for athletes who are not as prominent as Bryce Young. So shout out to Alabama for being able to do that. That's pretty cool. This one right here, Bryce Young also signed with Dollar Shave Club. I don't really know much about this brand. I don't know. I've always been like a Gillette guy myself, but shout out to them for being able to land Bryce Young. I'm sure they had to give him a very attractive offer because I'm sure CAA was not just going to let everybody sign with him. These next 2 deals are pretty interesting to me because they're like a blast from the past, man. Like, I remember when I was young, trading cards were a big thing, So him signing with Leaf and then Wild Card for trading card purposes is pretty cool for me. It's pretty cool to me because, these cards could be worth a lot of money in the future. They're probably going to appreciate pretty well. Now, this is also something to think about, right? We see trading cards making a comeback, but what else was pretty live around those times? The EA Sports games, like NCAA Football 2005 or whatever, right? Those games were so much fun. I loved them. I used to always create a good team and crush everybody. Now let's think about how practical it would be for NCAA football to come back as an EA Sports game. Well, EA Sports would have to sign a name, image, and likeness deal with every single college football player in the country. I don't think they want to do that, and I don't think it would be worth the time. I think they would actually spend more money trying to get it done than actually what they would make off the game. Now, what they could do is link up with the NCAA and try to get it into the boilerplate language of the contracts that every single player in the country is going to sign every year anyway. So I was a college athlete, and any other college athlete out there is going to remember signing all of those contracts at the beginning of every season, kind of signing your life away, all the waivers and all that kind of stuff. We didn't really read through them. We didn't have a reason to read through them. We just wanted to do what we love, right? But I'm sure you got people like, a Shador Sanders, a Bryce Young, or Arch Manning, who they're going to have lawyers in their agencies read through those contracts before they sign them. And I really, truly believe that they would snuff out anything like an EA Sports deal because that EA Sports deal is probably going to offer them pennies on the dollar for what they're actually worth. They're making millions of dollars a year from their name, image, and likeness. Why would they give it to EA Sports for pennies on the dollar, So love those games, but I really don't think they're coming back anytime soon. Okay, another company named Engage has signed Bryce Young too. This one right here is like a talent booking agency. So if you want to book the Bryce Young experience or have him come be a motivational speaker somewhere, then you could do it through this company right here, Engage. Now he's probably sticking to that same 1 month rule here, so I don't know how lucrative this is going to be for him, but shout out to him for getting it done. So as you can see, Bryce Young actually has the most NIL deals that we've seen so far. And he actually doesn't even have a specific number for how many he has. And he was actually asked this in an interview, and after saying he didn't know a specific number, he noted that you have to jump through so many hoops just to talk about business things. And so it's kind of really no point to even try to for him to discuss it. Now let's think about why that is. These NIL deals, they come along with something called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, or probably some other kind of confidentiality clause. These are actually a good thing in my opinion, because with these NDAs, these athletes can't tell how much they're making, and neither can the company. And that's a good thing because these athletes don't have security following them around on campus a lot of the time. So it might get a little dangerous for people to know how much they're making exactly. Also, they might get patronized in the locker room by their own teammates or hated on by their own coaches. Another pro for the companies is that, let's say you got Bryce Young signed to Beats, right? Let's say he signed like a 6-figure deal or something like that, right? But you got another quarterback coming into Alabama. But, he's not what Bryce Young was in high school. Bryce Young was an amazing high school football player. Let's say the next quarterback, Beats wants to sign them for $30,000. If Bryce Young is like, yo, I got 100. Then Beats is going to be in a very precarious situation because that new athlete is not going to want to sign for $30,000. So this helps the brand stay competitive within their own ranks. So I'll be honest with you, I like it. Now let's take a look at all of Bryce Young's deals. He signed with Cash App, Be Unlimited, BMW Tuscaloosa, Subway, Logan's Roadhouse, Dr. Pepper, Nissan, Beats, Celsius, The Athletic Collection, Dollar Shave Club, No Bull, Leaf, Wildcard, Engage, Onyx, and he has a deal with CAA. Now the funny thing about this is all of these deals are about to be, void because Bryce Young is about to go pro, and NILs cannot follow you to the pros. However, what you can do is you can sign another deal with the exact same company once you become a pro. So, he's not really losing out there if these companies still want to endorse him, which I'm sure they will because he's slated to go number 2 in the draft in the latest NFL mock draft, right? And not only is Bryce Young slated to go number 2, the number 2 pick in the NFL draft gets a signing bonus of $25+ million and makes $7+ million a year. So that's his reason for leaving college a year early. Now, it is true that the $3 or whatever million that he signs in NIL deals is guaranteed because you can't take it back for performance or injury. In the NFL, that first year's contract is going to be pretty much guaranteed if you look at the injury clauses in the collective bargaining agreement. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video and stay tuned for the next one. Y'all stay blessed.